I'm catching
There
a
you
cold.
go.
The title of my paper
Thank you.
is Marriage Among African Americans. What do the research reveal? Which is the question. My thesis is that African American families have lower marriage rates and higher divorce rates due to the stigmatization of the community, which has declined because of the belief that the media of white America's policies to nullify the blacks as criminals, that they are lazy and unreliable, incompetent, do nothing Negroes, and the women are mostly drug addicts who are whores who have baby after baby for the rest of America to take care of on public aid. And a lot of us, as African American people, are, and since the advent of the free love era in the 1970s, have come to believe this kind of rhetoric. There is research that 99 male African Americans and 100 female African Americans took as an consensus, saying that 1.9 million people of color, that is, black color, are incarcerated and only comprise approximately 6% of the population, and that there is a shifting trend affecting African American single family households. They say attitudes and character are shifting in the African American community, and it is shifting from strong religious and stable views, that is, for both men and women alike. They are saying that the lack of old family and extended family views are disappearing in America today. Some African Americans view each other as the same as whites in the country view us. The idea of a certain color, features, stature, and status make us believe that old adage, as in earlier times, the belief is prevalent in the African Americans today. They play us against each other. That is my view also of what the media thinks. Whites think that makes us acceptable. Those are my views, and those are the views of white bigoted America. I quote a factor contributing to lower marriage rates may be the age of the first marriage for African Americans, which is higher than it is for white Americans, unquote. And this is by Dixon, Patricia, 2008. Marriage among African Americans. What does the research reveal? Springer Science and Business Media, LLC, 2008. There's a method to study the marriage habits of African Americans and it stated, quote, Health and Human Development, a study of African American marriage and a study of 540 African American couples residing in Alabama. The study area was characterized by a 20% poverty level and a 5% unemployment rate. About 30% of the homes were housing units. The sample roughly represented this socioeconomic composition. 60% of the workers were service or maintenance oriented, and the African Americans comprised 46% of the population, unquote. That to me implies that they either serve the rest of the public or whites or fix things for them. Only half of these people could afford to be married because of losing housing and aid-related privileges. So they simply cohabitated, leaving many unwed mothers, and the children suffered because of this. This kind of data is called method data. The discussion, quote, investigated whether African Americans and husbands and wives' work control was associated with health promoting behaviors directly or indirectly. Through their perceived marital integration and dependency, unquote. An academic by Wikrama, K.A.S., Florenzia Suriadu, Adi, F., and Brian Chandra, M., copyright 2011, pages 519 to 531, University of Georgia and Iowa State University. In my second academic, the authors, interviewed 30 couples, although a few of the 30 couples were rural or suburban, and 24 of the couples resided in inner-city neighborhoods of Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, New Orleans, and Portland. For 7 participants, their marriage was a remarriage. The author's approach was a purposive in that the participants' educational levels vary from GED certification to advanced degrees, with the average couples both having some college and women typically having more education over men. The participants' ages were 42 years to 75 years old. The length of the marriage was about 26 years, with an average of 3 children. These marriages were referred to as enduring marriages in the African American community. This was an academic by author Marks, Lauren D., Hopkins, Katrina, Cheney, Cassandra, Monroe Pamela A. Nestera Olena, and Sasser Diane D. My source was Family Relations, Volume 57, Number 2, Enduring Couples, April 2008, pages 172 to 185, published by National Council on Family Relations. In summary, racism was used on black men to undermine them at every turn in life, and there is no justice in that case. White America is European unleashed. My thesis is that African American marriage has merely shifted with that of American society over the years. That is the end of my paper.